Okay, welcome traders to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap. The whole reason for doing that is to understand the participants, the traders in the auction process. And, this is imperative, and we want to understand what they are looking for, where they might be positioned, where transactions are taking place. Getting that kind of deep insight, that is only really possible via order flow. I mean, you can look at footprint charts, you can look at volume profile or market profile, but I think probably the closest touch to understanding the participants is in the order flow. You get sentiment in there. There's real time. You can see it in the speed and the action, and that is also recorded in Bookmap on the chart. And understanding that will give you an edge. All right, no matter what type of trading style that you use, just dig into the order flow around where you want to trade and what kind of signals are you getting from the participants. Okay, back in the day in the pits. That is exactly the edge that the pit traders had. They were on the floor. They were on the playing field. They could sense the dynamics. They could understand other players, participants, and their willingness to buy or sell. It gives a lot of insight. And the best way that we can get that through charts is via the order flow. And that's why we're here. All right, so let's dive into a couple news items. Continue on here with our blue jacket competition. Okay, you can win the blue jacket hoodie plus 3 months of Bookmap Global Plus for free with data. What you do is you take a screenshot, mark up your chart, take the best screenshot of your marked up charts, and on Instagram, LinkedIn, or X, just put in hashtag free blue jacket, and you'll be entered into the contest. And we'll look through it, and we'll see if those that have really great content, really great content with using the trade control panel and taking a trade in Bookmap. That's what we're doing this month. Then you'll win. All right, simple as that. Anyway, let's move on. Bookmap Academy process in here, what we go through. Guys, I am breaking this down. It is happening into many elements in here. They'll be simple and straightforward. This is about as simple and as basic as it can get, though. Is the impetus. What is moving the market out there? What is the market sentiment? What is the news? This is what moves the market typically, and we want to understand that. All right, so you should know what data is coming out. What were some of the other previous data points that move the market? This gives an overall sentiment. What is coming up and how the market might be reacting to those upcoming events. That's the impetus. The impetus could also be very high time frame technical levels that moves the market. Okay, those we want to understand as well, and that brings us into number 2, understanding the higher time frame key levels, and that together with number 1, the impetus. Now we're getting a bigger picture perspective. Now the third thing we want to do here is we want to develop some strategies and scenarios around those numbers there of the number 1 and 2, the impetus and the key levels. Why is that? Okay, because, for example, let's suppose we're coming up to a key level, and the market impetus or the data that's being released is bullish. No, let's say it's bearish, like today. What do you want to do at that key level? Okay, do you want to buy a breakout? Well, did you identify trap traders? These are scenarios that you'll go through. What time of day is it? This is really important, so put that scenario together and kind of map it out. Then look for it to start to unfold. And then it comes down to number 4. This is the last part here. is your setup. Usually we're taught that this is the first part and you just trade your setup all day long. Nope. We're going to filter it out, and this is critical. If you want higher probability trades, you got to filter out and cut away a lot of the noise, and this is how you do it. All right. So once you have your you've selected your proper setup for the day, you go through your checklist. You already know your setup extremely well. You've traded it a million times. Grade it, determine the risk and sizing, and look for the order flow events to execute and manage your trade. Okay, this is the process in here, and like I said, in the Bookmap Academy, or even moreover in Bruce's pilot program here, we really break this down. Okay, and we're going to get into a lot more details and nuances for this, and it's coming out in the next week or so. All right, really. So what the pilot program is all about, it's a subsector of the Bookmap Academy. It's about building an edge, because that's the number one thing that I see traders lack. They understand the setups, they might understand market impetus, etc., but they don't know if they have a trading edge. If you don't know if you have an edge, then you should not be trading. It's as simple as that. You need to have an edge. This is the number one thing. Okay, trader psychology, let it go. Don't even worry about it. You should have an edge first. This is the number one thing, and that I've worked with so many traders, and this is the biggest gap I've seen. They don't know how to build an edge. They don't know if they have an edge. They don't know the process, and this pilot program is designed to change that with a structured process that's measurable, testable, and it's very fast too, using Bookmap's replay mode. And actually it makes it fun and interactive and engaging as well. So anyway, if you are interested in that, let me show you where you can find both the Academy and the pilot program. So go to bookmap.com, click on the More button up here, and under Community, Bookmap Academy is right here. Let's open that in a different tab, and then Bruce's pilot program is right here. Okay, so you can go through the details. You can sign up here. There is no cost to it. It is included with your Global or Global Plus subscription. You will need to have that because you need to use Bookmap for it. All right, so Bookmap Academy, it's over here in this link, and you can go through the process in here. It's about journaling and building out your playbook through creating your chart markups and your content, your playbook. All right, you can get Bookmap for free if you go through the process in here, and you can get data for free if you become a coach. You can also get in step 2 here with the book. Once you become part of the Bookmap Academy, not only do you get Bookmap for free, if you meet the quota, you also can get add-ons if you double the quota. Okay, like stops and icebergs. All right, anyway, this is the process in here, and we have a few streamers that came through the Bookmap Academy, like Tom B, as well as Doug Pless. All right, anyway, you can sign up here. There's no cost to that as well. Okay, all right, let's continue on and jump in here. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so I have quite an agenda today to go through over in the pilot program. I responded to, asked a question. Let me go through it here. Let me show that pilot program chat room. Once you guys sign up, you will get access to it, but we need to see that you have Bookmap, and then you will get access to it. All right, so let me see here. It is underneath right here, Bookmap Academy, the divider here, and here's the chat room here, and the materials are in here, etc. So you'll see the Bookmap Academy link right here. So let's go to the pilot program, and here's the agenda for today. Well, first off, let me just go scroll back up here. I asked everybody, what is your biggest obstacle to developing and building out your trading edge? I'd love to hear it. especially from the new guys in here. So if you're new, please chime in and let's get a consensus, right? And a lot of you added your comments in here, which was great. I said I would cover them in today's webinar. All right, so here we've got Taurus right here. We're going to go cover understanding the transition between passive and aggressive buyers and sellers. If you guys have, if I'm not covering it right, I just kind of summarized here. Let me know. Put it into the chat. All right, but this is what I've got here. All right, so in fact, I should probably just copy this over and paste it. Yeah, let me just do that. I'll just copy the link right here. Oh, you guys won't be able to see it unless you're part of the pilot program. All right, Sakin, we'll go over entries and exits. He's confused about that and management. And then Brody, well, his was a little bit harder to answer here about navigation and getting set up, etc. But ask some questions and we can go through and try to smooth things out for you. Vinfra trading, higher time frame levels. Okay, we'll go over that in detail, and I think we're going to start with that. And then Tommy had asked about why don't you trade live? That'd be really helpful to see your process and your thought pattern, etc. I've answered this several times, and I used to trade live during these webinars. Now it was in sim, okay, because I'm not going to trade live in a live account because then we're open to all sorts of liabilities. Even with a sim account, we're probably open to liabilities, but that's not the real reason. I'm being very honest, very frank here, Tommy. This is why. Okay, previously I was a CTA, a commodities trading advisor. I had a series 3, 31, and 34. I could trade Forex and futures, and I was also 31 was like I think being a partner at the brokerage or something like that. Anyway, that was the easiest test of all. Anyway, I could trade other people's money. I could trade live, no problem, and did trade live. In fact, for this Australian group years ago, and we would trade news events live. In fact, we'd straddle the market and trade live. Anyway, and that was in the Forex markets. But this is truly what I find. This is the truth, right? I think it offers lower grade education because everyone's focused on the P&L, and that's one thing. But then we're a slave to the trade. I can't go over multiple things because we have to go over the trade and the trade management, right? So what I think we should do is this. We held one of these webinars before. We'll do more for the pilot program members. We'll go over replay mode and go through the process again and again and again. All right, and ask questions and see my process. Open it up to other coaches and listen to their process. All right, and then we'll that should be very, very helpful, and it will answer questions about seconds, about getting entries, exits, etc. Higher time frame levels. It'll answer a lot of the other questions in here. All right, so anyway, I'm going to start off with VinFA trading, and we're going to go with the higher time frame levels. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the process of that Bookmap Academy. Okay, so the impetus, what's moving the markets? Okay, well, markets aren't doing too well right now. You can see the big down days in here. This is the daily over here. And look at how choppy and volatile that is. Okay, there's a lot going on in here. The VIX is up at 22 and kind of spiking. These are big ranges in here. And I was kind of taken aback on last Thursday. They moved down here. And then it held down here. Now we've seen this a bunch of times, right? I think it's over here on the hourly. Yeah. Okay, so here's the big move down, right? And then it held down here. What does that mean? What does that tell us? It tells us that it's accepting lower after this big move. That is bearish. Okay, you volume profile guys or market profile guys, you know all that. The next day, what happened? It chopped within that range, and that was a pretty choppy day. And also today could potentially be choppy, but I got some ideas for today scenarios. Anyway, so we are still, after some days, we're accepting lower. Right? This is bearish, and no question about that. Now, we just dipped below the previous day's low down right here around 68.08. We spiked below it and we came back up. Okay, we see some buyers coming in. All right, that's good. You know, we'll see where that leads to. But I'm looking for it to come back down into some of the swings down here and revisit these areas. Okay, so the swing low that this 70 or 67.51 or 52, also this 62 area, just around in here. It's a zone, right? It's going to be kind of an area we're looking for price to revisit. Okay, because we are bearish. Why are we bearish? The news, well, it's more about kind of overall sentiment about AI being just overbuilt, and we're looking for kind of a pullback in that. This has been an ongoing theme, and inflation worries also coming back in. So anyway, the market is accepting lower and still continues to go lower. All right, the VIX is starting to go up. All right, so here's our hourly in the middle. Okay, now you can see we filled the gap here immediately this morning, and the 15-minute on the right shows it better. Here you can see we opened up at the range down here. We spiked up, filled the gap, went above the range up in here, or just tested the range up in here, and failed and came back down. Okay, we went below yesterday's low, and now we're kind of chopping around. All right, so that's kind of overall structure that I see, and we can go through scenarios once we go through our higher time frame levels. And I had a play here that I want to go through with you guys. Okay, pretty easy opening drive play. All right, okay, so the swings of infra. Okay, now guys, keep it simple. In the pilot program, I recommend you guys just look at the major swings from the previous day, during the week, the previous week, the monthly swings, etc. I mean, these, you don't have to take too much time to mark up. Okay, then you start drilling it down, right? And then you're looking at the overnight. The range, the swings, and then you're looking at the opening of the day. Okay, so for example, Vinfra, we opened up down here. Okay, now this is, it's an intraday swing. It's at the close here, right, from yesterday. Okay, so this is kind of an important swing here. All right, so we opened up down just down below it here, and then we started to see buyers come in. Okay, so why are we looking, first off, why are we looking at these swings? And we're not looking at VWAPs, we're not looking at POC, we're not looking at value area highs, value area lows. We're just looking at swings. And believe me, a lot of these swings are going to line up with your other indicators anyway. So just look at the swings and keep it simple. If you've been a volume profile trader for years and you look at POC, that's something different. But you already know if you have an edge or not trading that. Okay, so that's something different, but just keep it simple because we know there's going to be reactions at the swings. Okay, that's where a lot of other traders are lined up. Okay, the higher time frame swings, the more traders that are either trapped or going to react. It's really that simple. Okay, so we're looking at those higher time frame swings as being more powerful. All right, yeah, this is a beauty actually here on the hourly. We went down below this these swings over here as well, and are moving back in now. Okay, so we see how we're getting a reaction down here. And let me open this up a little bit. I know this is not a great candlestick chart, guys. We can look at Bookmap's candlestick chart as well, but I just want to keep it simple and clear. This area here, see the swing to here and this swing right here, right? That's kind of a zone. We dipped below it and we came back up, right? Just recently. And you can see it over here on the 15-minute chart. All right, we're going to see, typically we are going to see reactions at the swings. Not always, because there might be some sort of news and it breaks and cascades all sorts of stops, and people are not buying the dips at that point, and we look for continuation. All right, that's something different. Like over here on that Thursday, okay, look at this candle here. Okay, this will be really helpful, Vinfra. And look at this candle here. You want to stay away from, when you see this kind of price action, there's going to be some chop back and forth in here, but it's going to be pretty minimal, and you're going to see it continue on to the downside. All right, so this is where this is momentum, and it is price discovery. It is going for other swings down here. Actually, this is where it swung to, right down in here. I remember this on Thursday, and it was kind of an odd area. Okay, this is another thing that I have noted as well. These odd areas, when you see it like kind of chop around and accept in those odd areas, a lot of times it's not through yet. Okay, because it's just taking a break because there's been so much price action, it's exhausted out here. And I mean exhausted in a different way here. I'm talking about market breadth. Okay, and then so you do not find buyers in here. It just stays here. You're not really finding sellers either, and it just starts to chop around. We look for the continuation on another time frame or time level, for example, the next day, and that's when it came down and revisited the swings down here. Okay. Is this making sense? Vinfra, are you with me on this? Let me go check the chat. I've been just gabbing here, and I hope you guys can hear me. All right. Okay. Yeah, Vinfra, I need to hear from you. Thank you, Robert. Makes sense. I know you got it, Robert. And Robert, you've been trading a number of years, but it's kind of a realignment. I mean, like a Shark, a DNT. A lot of you guys have been looking at, trading for a number of years and looking at other things. And I'm just trying to boil it down and keep it really, really simple here. Okay, because if you go back, just go back and look at the chart. The candlestick chart is fine. Just go back and verify what I'm saying is right. Okay, it doesn't, and I hate to say it that way. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. Just go back and test it yourself and prove it to yourself that these swings matter. All right, so that's the way to go, is go back and look. Okay, look at all of this price action in here, and you'll see these types of swings in here. And the bottom, dipper buyers down here, and selling the tops up in here, etc. Again and again and again. All right, so let's see. All right, so Vinfra. All right, now let's go over this in here. Now this is this is the close from yesterday. So this is an important level down here. All right, it closes right around in here. But this is the swing just before the close, right? This is where we opened up. Okay, so this swing here, we're going to look for a key level at the open. Okay, and we're going to look for an opening drive move. We're going to look for momentum. We're going to look for a gap fill here. All right, because we're at the swing, we think there's going to be reaction here. We're going to look for the gap fill. Okay, this is a potential scenario. Okay, I don't have one for gap fills, but I do have the ORB trade over on the Bookmap Learning Center. Okay, but gap fills are a great study, and I would actually look for more, and I did look for more than the gap fill this morning. Okay, I was looking for it to come up to this 65 area. I thought it would come up to here actually, 64 and a quarter, 65, and there was liquidity up there as well. This is how we can start to put together the pieces to understand the order flow and the behavior of traders, okay, and use it as an edge. We're looking for liquidity up here, okay, and that's where we want to be a seller. Is where we want to exit the trade as well, okay, and be a seller, not just at the gap fill. Maybe you take some off, but I'm looking for it to trade up to here. Okay, I want this to swing high, stop people out, and then I'm looking for the continuation move after that event. Okay, so again, now you're starting to see Vinfra. I'm putting together here these higher time frame pieces. All right, now this is kind of a minor level in here, but we're again, what is our sentiment in here? Okay, we're bearish for the reasons we covered earlier. Okay, so we're looking for trading. If it goes counter trend, we're looking for trading up to that, and then even potentially reversing and going with the trend to the downside. Okay, and we're marking up these levels. Now, this level is not as key as this level up here. Okay, there's a number of points up here. All right. Now, this level here is also not as key as this swing down here or this here on the hourly. Okay, this is more powerful. There's more traders on multiple time frames interacting on these levels. This is why it's more powerful. Okay, so just the easiest way, Vinfra, is to work your higher time frame levels is start with the daily or the weekly. I'd start with the daily and just start marking them up, going back. Okay, also mark the overnight. All right, so anyway, this is the way to go, or this is an easy way to go. Mark up your key levels and look for liquidity and order flow around those levels. Okay, so now what have we done here this morning at the open here? I'm looking for now a setup here. Okay, an opening drive move. Okay, now we're breaking down, guys, and I'm looking for a nice move here. Okay, down into these levels down here. Okay, on the daily chart. Okay, we'll see. But anyway, a continuation move here. Anyway, so the scenario is we open up, we're down here, and we're at a level here, and we're looking for an easy, quick gap fill, and I'm looking for a little bit more than a gap fill, okay, up into this level, which didn't happen, but it did go up into this minor level. Okay. There weren't enough buyers to test up into that a little bit higher time frame level here. That tells you something as well. All right. Okay, so now on the way down, I'm looking for momentum, and I'm looking for them to go through the minor levels and trade into the bigger levels. Okay, there's more sellers, they'll blow through some of those minor levels. There'll still be probably some back and forth. We would assume that, some profit taking, but we're probably not going to find a whole lot of buyers getting in the way here. Okay, and if we do, and we start to turn around and go back down, look out. Okay, those are going to be trap traders, and they're going to fuel that move to the downside. This is how you start to put the scenarios together, which is step 3. Okay, so starting to put the, we have the impetus, number 1, number 2, key levels, number 3, scenarios. So gap fill, breakdown, continuation move. Those are the scenarios I am looking for today. I don't know how to put it much clearer, Vinfra. I mean, just repetition here. Go back, look at your mark up your chart now. Go back and look at these levels. Okay, and then I would suggest go back every day here, or every hour, or every 15-minute candle, and just scroll back and look. Okay, do they hold? Look up here. This is the same idea here, except it gapped up. We actually, this was, I remember this here. This was Thursday, and we gapped up, we filled it, and we got the continuation move, big one, to the downside, and we accepted down here. Okay, look what it did over here. It did exactly the same thing, exactly. Okay? It gapped way up though, way up here to these swings here. It just went above it, it rejected, it came back down, filled the gap, and went down even below it. Okay, there was a lot of selling momentum. So selling momentum blew through some of those other levels here. More kind of, they're not as key, they're more minor levels. All right, you'll get it, and put those pieces together. It's pretty straightforward. And just look for reactions around some of those levels. All right, how am I doing? Let's see here. We're missing a lot of the action in here, but we can go over that gap fill, the 65 level, and then the move down lower as well. So yeah, and actually let's take a look at this. This pullback in here is pretty good, but anyway, let's jump into the next thing to cover in here, and I think it is going to be about the transition from buyers to sellers, or sellers to buyers. See, okay, we'll go through each one of these in here, fill out the agenda. Okay. And then entry and exit points, right? Okay. Actually, it might be easier to go over entry and exit points, maybe together with. So, Tommy, I think I answered your question. Taurus, I'll be working on that. Vinfra, I answered your question. We'll cover more though, and just continue to ask, and we'll go over it again and again. And then let's see. Between Taurus and Sakin, we'll go through the entry points and exits, and the transition from passive and aggressive buyers and sellers. Okay, this is a really big, important point. And then Brody, you're going to have to ask me directly, or in here. Like I don't know exactly what some of your issues were, or maybe recommendations you have for making things a little smoother UI wise. Okay. All right, guys. Well, here's the opening drive right here. Okay, and here's the overnight. This is 9:45, or we did have some. Did we have some data this morning? 8:50? No. Anyway, let me see. Let me double check on that. And not really, it's really minor news. Anyway, okay, well, we see, you know, right in here, nice move to the upside, deep pullback, chop, okay, and then here is our cash open, and I'm seeing buyers coming in. Okay? I'm looking for the opening drive. I'm looking for it to go up to this minor swing up here. Easy way to mark these up is use the drawing tool, ray, and then hold down the shift key and then just park your cursor here, left click hold and drag it to the right. And there you go. Okay, so opening drive, I'd be looking for the swing up here, and I would anticipate there to be some chop. Let's put a scenario together. Why would we think that? Look at all the liquidity up here. This is why. Okay, but now we know there's more buyers than sellers in here. Okay, but there's a lot of liquidity in here. It came up to 50, the figure, and that's where it faded. Okay, and it pulled back. Okay, because this is where there's a transition, and now it's not much, right, of a transition to buyers, from buyers to sellers in here. Okay, these are the aggressive buyers in here. These are the aggressive sellers in here. Okay, now that's not, look at this transition in here. Okay, this is like a low volume pullback, right? Because we see this is more like the impulse move in here. There's actually 1, 2, or even 3 in here. And now these moves come in, you know, pretty hot and heavy, and then just, but overall, look at the buyers, and then look at these sellers on the pullback in here after, you know, trading up above a minor level, but then also the figure up here, and all this liquidity getting filled in here. Okay, these are sellers. This is where these buyers met the sellers, okay, and we get a pullback. Okay, now I'm not seeing a whole lot of sellers in here, and I know the buyers are in control, right? So the move here in this small time frame is to the upside. Okay, now look at these are minor swings and pullbacks in here, right? Or one down here, this is the best one, or the cash open down here. Okay, so on pullbacks, and when we talk more about the low volume pullback setup, okay, or, you know, a continuation move, we are looking for moves back to minor levels, because there's more buyers than sellers. So that's why we start to look at minor levels. And if you don't trust me on this, just go back and test it. Go back and you'll see it again and again and again. This is how you get higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so why would you get a higher high up here or a higher low up here? Because it's pulling back to this level or this level, right? That's it. Okay, so now we'd look for an entry point in here for a continuation move back up. Okay, now we can go over where we now we know that there's not that many sellers in here, so that transition in here is lame, or it's weak, right? We don't see a whole lot of sellers in here. Okay, there's sellers over here. There's not too many aggressive sellers in here, and this is why we go over that trend line break and accumulation trade, because we want to understand this context in here. If you do not see a lot of aggressive sellers, the bigger transition has not unfolded, right? And what do we get instead? We start to see a cluster of buying, more buying, more buying. Up at a swing up here, a minor swing, we're breaking out of this level. We even pull back and test here. This is a pullback here. Okay, and more buyers again. I would look for the test up to here, but also, since we're in an uptrend and we made a higher low, I'm looking for the next level, which would probably be up here at like 55-ish liquidity. Okay, they've been in the book the longest up here. Okay, that would be kind of where I'd be looking for. Right now, if we jump back and we look at our higher time frame in here, what was the gap fill? 55 or 54, right? And then I would love to see it swing above here. I really thought we'd get to 65. We'd see a spike above it, and then it would reject. We didn't. We just got above these little candles in here on the overnight, and that was around 59. Okay. Now we go forward here. Okay, so we trade up into all of that high liquidity in here. It took a little while, back and forth, and it traded into that high liquidity. Okay, and then we continue on up, and we get up into that 60, and you can see the highs up in here, 62-ish. Yeah, about 62. Okay, this is where I was shooting for up here, 65. All right. I actually, here, I'll show you. I took the trade, actually. I kind of hesitated to show this because I thought I found a bug. And I have to go back and retest this in here. And so I actually canceled my orders. I took... yeah, see, this is where I think it's a bug. I don't know why they canceled here. I should have. Anyway, I've got to look into this here because I'm playing around with brackets and OCOs, and then there's some interesting things in 7.7 that I'll show you guys. All right, but we'll wait a little bit before I get into some of those details. But you can see this is where I was looking for, up in here, right? So here was take profit. And up into here, I just took it, and then we get a pullback in here, and then let's see, I trailed up pretty aggressively here and got stopped out here, and then nice move and the continuation move to the upside here. Okay, but this is where I kind of freaked out on something. I think that there was a potential bug in here. Anyway. I'll have to look into that and get back to the developers. It's probably me, but anyway, nice move, right? Now, let's go over. So first off, let me double back. Okay, so getting back to questions on Taurus, okay? Do you start to understand this is really the crux of understanding the trend line break and accumulation? And this is why I started with this setup to begin with, is because a Bookmap shows this so well. You can get so much from it by understanding passive accumulation, because no one else really covers it. Okay? Bookmap not only covers it, it shows it. It's like it's there. You can see the transactions of high liquidity, okay, and you get the context between the aggressive buyers, which are the green dots, the market buy orders that take liquidity, and then the passive seller limit orders here that provide liquidity. Okay, and that is this relationship that we want to understand, and that transition that I'm talking about. And here's our transition here, okay, that we covered, right? We just don't see that many. We don't see the transition on the sell side. So we're looking for buyers to come back in and then continue on up to the swings that we had outlined, and why we outlined them as well. Okay, so now we're putting that all into a cohesive plan with trade management. Okay, entries and exits. Okay, here's my entries over here. Now we can get to the question from Sakin. Okay, now I got in up here thinking this, we traded into high liquidity, bounce back, sellers, I see buyers. I got in a little late. I wanted to get in here. Okay, and then I just started hitting the buy button up here. Right, it pulled back against me a little bit, continued on up. and then you can see my first take profits up here. I got out and pulled back. I took another take profit up here around 50, and then it pulled back and I moved my stop up. Okay, where did I move my stop up to? I actually had another limit order in here to buy at this little level in here as well. Okay, thinking that this is the minor swing that I want to get in on right here. Okay, so here, you know, putting it all together into a cohesive plan. All right, and I ended up canceling that. Oh no, this was an OCO, but yeah, I wanted to get in here. This is where I got kind of screwed up, and I'll have to go back and test. Anyway, I moved my stops up in here. Okay, below, here's a swing right here, but this is the minor swing. Okay, this is where I'm putting my stop here. Okay, if you want to be a little more safe, you can put it down lower, right? But you have to have more risk. All right, so anyway, I had it up in here. I'm looking for the continuation move to unfold in here, and I took one more here, and then this is where I was really kind of I don't see my my buy or my exit in here, right? That's so something's a little off there. Anyway, so Sakin, or is it Sakin? Is it? Yeah, okay, entries and exits. Let's actually unwind this a little bit and make it simple, okay? The way that you trail your stop is the same way you set your stop. Okay, let me explain what I mean here. Okay, so we were in the trade up in here, and took some profits, and then looking to get in on a pullback. Okay, and then I've had my stop here with OCO orders in here, and then so this is why I didn't want to show this, because it's kind of complex with the OCO and brackets, etc. Anyway, you can even see I lined up, I marked up these little elements in here, right, as the swing, the minor swing. That's where I'm looking for price to dip into. Okay, and I'm not really looking for liquidity up in here on the bid. Anyone want to answer that one? Why I'm not looking for liquidity up here? I mean, basically, in the trend, typically, you don't see them on the bid anymore. Okay, they're already in, and then they're shooting for high liquidity on the offer. A lot of times in the trend move up, you'll see this. It's really dark underneath here, and quite bright on the other side, okay, with high liquidity on the way up. This is part 2 of our education course on the Learning Center back in 2017. Okay, I've got an example in there. It shows how dark it is underneath here. Okay, there's just no market for it. It exhausts out. There's no sellers. And then once we start to get back up in here, you're finding buyers. You're finding people getting stopped out. You're finding fuel and price discovery move to the upside. All right, so let's go take a step back. Second, so let's consider entry in here. Okay, and then you would use the same process that you'd use for trailing your stops. Okay, so you're looking for that transition in here. You're looking for those buyers, right? And do you see them up here? No. Okay, we come back down. We see a cluster of buying in here. We come back up. Do we see buyers in here? No. We come back down again. We start to see buyers coming in here. Okay, this is where I would be looking for entering. Okay, as it's starting to test and break this on buying pressure, because I know that there are buyers here, clusters of buyers, more buyers than sellers. And if you don't believe me and you guys love your indicators, check out your CVD. Okay, that will also capture the same data in here. Okay, but I really like looking at these delta bars, and I really like looking at the volume dots in context of the market structure. I want to see big buying dots up at the highs, and I don't see them in here, okay, until we get up here. Oh, you can watch the replay, Sakin, no worries. It's about 45 minutes into it or so, 45 minutes into it. All right. Anyway, I would be looking for in here. I'm looking for the follow through and the breakout and the carry through up to high liquidity. I would be leaving my stop down here until it breaks this level in here. So this is where I move. This is where I move my stop up, trailed it, but this is where I would have it until we broke out here, and then I would move it up to this one here. Okay, so underneath here, so probably around this 39.5 or so, somewhere like that, right? So that's what I would be doing. So I'm trying to keep it simple and consistent with your stop management as well as your entry stops and exits. All right. Now, in terms of exits, I would suggest first just hit a single, make some money, build some confidence, be inspired, and that confidence to carry onward to the next step. Okay? And stay away from the downward spiral. Okay, and the downward spiral is, oh, I think I've got it. You know, it's going to come up to 65. I'm going to add into it. Oh, it's pulling back. Well, I'm still looking for it to go up to 65. It's pulling back. I see some sellers. Yeah, but, you know, some buyers just kind of spiked above it a little bit. I'm going to add in. Okay, and then it goes south on you and it wipes out your account. Okay, or you have like, you know, a 20% loss or something like that. Okay, and that's the downward spiral. Then you start revenge trading. You unwind mentally. Okay, so and you're not following any plan at all. You're just hitting buttons wildly. Okay, we've all been there. At least I have many times over. And try to stay away from that. All right. So anyway. Yeah, so okay, so let's take a step back and let's see. Sakin went over exits and entries. That's an art form we'll go over again and again and again. Taurus, or Sergeant Taurus, we went through the transition between buyers and sellers over time. Okay, and looking for that transition and looking for that price discovery. Vinfra, we went over the higher time frame levels, and we went over a lot of details in that. Okay, so I think I covered the majority of your questions. Let me see if there's anything more in the chat here. Okay. Not much, huh? Really? That's it? Come on, guys. There's got to be some more questions here. All right, now, okay, so now let's go back to the live market analysis, and that's what I really love and care about. And you know, I always think it helps you guys the most. But after asking that question last night and getting these responses, I wanted to cover these in the live in today's webinar. Okay, and now we can carry it forward and look in the live market too. Okay, after we've answered these questions. Okay, so where are we now? All right. So we are just chopping around. We clear the drawings here. And then I'm going to close this up. And I'll go over 7.7 with you guys soon and how to operate and what some of the new features are. This is pretty cool. Some pretty cool stuff. Okay. Oh, it's never easy, is it? You know, we're looking for that continuation, and I'm still going to look for it. Okay, but I certainly don't see it unfolding right now. Okay, so we were looking for that continuation move here. We did get it below 6,800. This to me is something else to take a look at as well. Below 6,800, I don't know about you guys, but I see it so often. We go about 10 points lower, trap everybody, and then squeeze them to the upside. And that is what I believe is happening right now. In fact, let's look at our stops and icebergs. Okay, we haven't really seen the big squeeze yet, but it's coming. Okay, just watch this. This is going to spike here really soon here. This red line down here. All right, nice structure here, starting to build. Okay, this is like a channel, but this is like the three or it's four hits to the high here. In fact, okay, so I'm watching this very closely here. I like this pattern, and yeah, I should say what I mean by pattern. All of these patterns are made up from the order flow and the transactions. Okay, so and what's happening in this one here when you see three hits to the high and you read about that in your books, it just, or you watch it on a YouTube video in a candlestick chart and a candlestick pattern or something. Okay, well, what are we seeing? We're seeing it kind of grind higher, pull back, grind higher, pull back, grind higher, pull back. All right, so now a lot of times we look for this to catastrophically fail, okay, after it keeps on grinding. Now we've got an edge in here looking at Bookmap, okay, because we know where the liquidity is. Okay, so it's trading into high liquidity now. Okay, 1, 2, I'm looking for more. Okay, it's breaking this channel, but we're trading up into 25. Okay, here's our stop run, guys, right? Here it is. This is the beautiful stop run we were just talking about. Okay, now let's put this all together into what we talked about earlier. Here's our swing, okay, from this previous swing here, right? It's a good one, right? I like it a lot. Let me actually erase it or move it you can see it over here. This is where we broke down from, retested, and now we're retesting it again. All right, okay, there's our stop run. Now we're looking for transition. Okay, so we're up at a key level here on this time frame. Okay, now this is a minor key level, keep that in mind. Okay, the intraday, we might come all the way back up here, who knows, right, to 62.5, a high of the day here for the cash session. Okay, we might come up into maybe this kind of minor level here, or this little swing in here. I kind of like this one, somewhere around in here. I'll just say it's here at 47.5. All right, now there's nothing to do until we see this transition take place. Okay, now that's a lot of liquidity that just got filled in here. Okay, it's a lot of buyers. It's also a big stop run in here. Okay, great. All right, so now we're at a key level, and let's draw up our trend line in here. Okay, now that's a pretty aggressive one. It might come back down into this one here. And this is another thing that I want to go over with you guys again and again about these key or about the trend line. What we're talking about is structure. It's really not about the trend line. Okay? We're talking about market structure. And we're looking for it to break, meaning that this back and forth in here, see how we're breaking it right now? Okay, great. So now let's see if there's going to be buyers off of maybe this trend line. If not, I'm looking for these sellers. See if we get a cluster selling. Nope. Okay, back up to this little minor swing and a pullback. Okay, high liquidity here at 30 as well. All right, so we're really watching this closely in here. Okay, still finding some buyers off of this area here. Right. Vinfra, see this little structure? See how it broke? Look where it retested. Okay. This is just market structure. Okay, now look where it's retesting again, where it broke out from. Okay, and it's still accepting higher. So there's nothing to do here. Now we're looking for either high liquidity or sellers up in these areas up in here, or exhaustion as well. Okay, then we're looking for aggressive sellers to come in, and we're looking for them to drive it back down to this minor level down here. Okay, right down here around 28, 27.5. Okay, look at the squeeze. It's just squeezing higher here. Wow, nice squeeze. All right, so now we're coming up to our next level here. At 40. All right, now let me clear the drawings here, and we'll remark up some of these here. Okay, put a little more defined structure on it now, because we can. I'm still going to mark up this. I like this line right in here. And we're up at this kind of 40-ish level. And then there's our 50 level up here. I'm just going to mark it up as 50. Okay, as the figure. Let's take a look at our candlestick chart. Okay, on the daily in here, our move down, our move back up. Okay, it's still red for the day, and you can see us chopping around. Okay, so we did actually get a reaction down in here off of this level, and we're finding some buyers. Okay, so they did not blast through this level down here. And now I was looking for them to blast through that level, and I'll tell you why. Okay, because see the wicks in here. Let me reduce this here a little bit. Okay, here's buyers tried, sellers came back in. Okay, and they made a lower low in here. Okay, and then I thought this was enough. Okay, that we'd see enough sellers in here to finally, we saw the move up, filled the gap, move down, and then looking for another move down. Okay, we didn't get it. We're squeezing back up. Okay, so it's turning into a pretty choppy day. On the candlestick chart, we can look at this 47 level up in here. Okay, this previous swing here. Okay, I still kind of like this. We marked it up around 40-ish, right? Okay, yeah, 40, and we're through that. Okay, so now, let's see, did we fill that liquidity? No, but I see a lot of selling coming in, right? Okay. And again, more selling coming in. And some exhaustion up in here. Okay, but do we break structure? No. Right? A few of you guys had mentioned what you struggle with in from my question in the pilot program there was patience. Okay, waiting for it to unfold and kind of not knowing, right? There is a way to get over some of that, and that's by, in my opinion, it is by hitting that replay mode again and again and again and knowing your setup extremely well. So then you don't have to worry. It either presents itself or it doesn't. And you know what it looks like because you've done it so many times. And I think that's where your patience, it'll be much, much easier to overcome the lack of patience. Okay, because you're looking for something very specific, and if it doesn't show, it doesn't show. You know, you got to be there, but you know, just watch the market, study some other things. Okay, coming up to 50 here. This is a nasty move. It's going to squeeze a lot of people out. Look at the stop runs here. Look at this. Okay, so from negative 800 up to 400. So 1,200 stops. People are just getting annihilated here on this move. Okay, that's what I see. Red line down here. Okay, once everyone is stopped out of the market, we can look for something to unfold. Okay, now we're trading to our, we're blasting through our minor levels in here. Okay, so there was nothing to do. We stayed out of the way. Here's the swing high up here. That's a lot of buying. Yeah, still squeezing, still squeezing. So likely we're going to get a spike even above this up in here, around our 65 area here that we're looking at actually at the open, that I was looking at the open. Here's the overnight up here, 68-ish, 69, somewhere like that. Stops and icebergs. Mr. Smiles, yeah, this is a good question, and this is the answer is it depends on when you open up your Bookmap. All right, so my is cumulative volume delta in here. Okay, so for example, you can see actually I had I had a crash kind of earlier. You can see I opened up just before the cash opened, to be honest, right in here. Okay, because you can see this flatlined in here. All right, so I think this is when I opened it up earlier in the day, so somewhere around 8:30, and then I think I got a crash. And anyway, you can see this is where I started getting data for stops and icebergs, just around 9:30. Okay, so my data is going to be from that point on with cumulative volume delta, meaning that these stops or icebergs, if it is a buy stop, it is going to be a positive number and the graph will go up. If it's a sell stop, it's a negative number and it will start to go down. Okay, and it'll just do that back and forth over and over again. So look at all these people buying on the way up and their stops, and we know that they are stop orders. Okay, that's the beauty here. We know not just the order flow, we know the order types. And the order types are used by specific traders. So for example, retail traders use stop orders to stop out and protect their account, because we don't have deep pockets like bigger players. Who uses iceberg orders? Anyone in here use iceberg orders? Hit the chat. And if you do, like, I mean, we see icebergs for like totally executed for like 1s and 2 lots in here. So, people do use them. But typically, people are using them to hide their liquidity from the order book. And it means that they have a lot of liquidity. So only a piece, let's say if they want to execute a 500 lot, or let's say 1,000 lot order, then you do not use icebergs. Well, you probably use stop. I hope you use stops, Vinfra. But if you're gonna enter with a 1,000 lot order, are you gonna put that in the order book? You might not get filled, right? It'll scare price away. People will see that imbalance in the order book. Now you might get filled if you're in a downtrend and all sorts of sellers come in, and hit the bid, and that's exactly what you see on the way down. Okay, this is where we traded into high liquidity down in here. These are the larger players down in these areas in here. Again, transition from buy side to sell side. Now I really thought there'd just be more aggressive sellers in here and we'd trade through these areas. Okay, we're seeing a nice reaction here. So yeah, an iceberg, the way the iceberg mechanics work is an order type. These are native to the CME. They're not the synthetic or heuristic. Okay, if you have like TT Trader, trading technologies, like you can get co-located, have your account co-located, or your algo is co-located next to the CME, and execute iceberg orders with their I don't know what they call it exactly, but they call it a hidden order or something. It's the same idea though. Only a piece of it will go to the market and the rest stays local, okay, on your machine. And then once that piece is in the order book as like a limit order and is filled, the next piece of your large order is sent to the order book. That's how it works. Okay, so if you guys had any questions on that, until it's either fully filled or canceled or moved or replaced. So in fact, let me turn on the on chart indicator here. It is on. Okay, great. So we'll show icebergs. That's the subchart. It's the on chart. Icebergs. We'll show icebergs first. And no filters. Great. Perfect. Okay. I mean, I just think this kind of transparency is amazing. And we can zoom in here and see the whole thing filled. See 14. Look at, see the E means fully executed for 14 contracts. Okay, we can zoom in here and see the whole evolution of it. This is D means detected. This is where the first iceberg order was detected right here. Okay, you can see it in the subchart. You see a one lot here. As we go forward, because now we're at sub-second levels, we see 12 here was the next transaction here. See the aggressive buyers in here. See how they hit or lift the offer right into an iceberg, and there's our iceberg indicator in the subchart. Go to the downside. They are selling. This is a sell iceberg order. Okay, this portion of it tranche or whatever is 12. Okay, it continued on until another aggressive buyer hits, and then it was fully filled here for fully executed for 14. Okay, and that's that iceberg. Okay, we can look at others in here. There was another one that was canceled. This one here for 35. Okay, so we don't know how much this player had here. Okay, we know the first transaction was for 10, then 14. God, we can zoom in and see every little element in here, right? You know, if we go down to the sub-second levels in here, right? So very, very accurate. And then we know it was canceled here as well. So another 6 transacted here for T, and then the C means canceled. Nothing transacted there. He just canceled the order. Okay, probably right and oh no, some did transact right in front of it. Okay, and then it just pulled the order right here. Okay, we know all of that. Okay, it's there's order ID tags in there for icebergs. All right. Okay, well, we're getting up there now. Okay, so guys, this is what I'd be looking for, because we got to end the webinar here shortly. Okay, we're going to be looking at our key levels. Okay, let's just zoom out again. Okay, what do we have in here? Okay, this was the yesterday. Yeah, this is yesterday's high up here. Okay, here's the overnight high here. Okay, and we've blasted through all these other key levels or minor levels. Okay, on the way up. That's pretty typical, right? But there's just, do we ever consider getting in to a trade here on the way up? No. Here's a big one here, 700. So now we can get rid of some of these in here as well. Okay. All right. Now, are we starting to break structure? Yep. Okay. Our at least the trend line here broke, right? Okay, but let's draw up our structure a little bit better. Let's get some deeper insight in here, because we're still making higher lows and just making higher highs right now. Okay, but this is where we want to see the transition, and this will answer it wasn't Sakin, it was Sergeant Taurus. Okay, transition from buy side to sell side. Okay, buy side to sell side. Okay, we're looking for it. Okay, we're not seeing it yet, right? We're still seeing more buyers coming in. Okay, but you will note that this starts to unfold like this. Okay, and has there been high liquidity on the offer filled on the way up? Has it been 3+ levels? Yeah, it has. Okay, so now I'm starting to look for these clusters in here of sellers are looking pretty good. It's starting to unfold. Okay, so now we're going to look for that transition to take place in here. Now we're going to look for our aggressive sellers. So like right here, right? Let's see if the sellers come in right here. No, not yet. Yeah, I don't really like it yet. I'm still looking for some more aggressive sellers in here. This is more like it's kind of like a low volume. It's not really a low volume pullback, but it's starting to chop. Okay, now here we go. Okay, cluster of sellers come in. Let's see now. I would look for, if we get more sellers here, right? We got some sellers, and now they're getting squeezed. Okay, If we come back down here, we're starting to see clusters of sellers. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Okay. Now, it's not really the best yet, but we're starting to see it evolve. Let me get rid of this and this. Yeah. Let's see if we can break it now. Okay, so looking for these sellers to, here we go. Now, do the buyers step in here? I don't really see a bid here. Okay, where is their liquidity on the bid? Okay, there's some down here at this minor swing here at 56, some down here at 52, and then some down here at the figure at 50. Okay, what does the offer look like up here? Okay, now what we're looking for is a break of the structure here. Okay, now we broke the trend line, right? But we can actually get rid of the trend line. We're looking at the horizontal structures in here. Okay, that's what we're keying in on here. Okay, and then we're looking for this shift away from this structure on selling. Okay, do we see sellers? Yeah, they're starting to come in. And we just made a slightly lower low here and a slightly lower high here. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay, it's still chopping back and forth. Okay, we're coming up on the London close as well. So I anticipate a little bit of back and forth and volatility in here. Okay, Brugesh, you're on vacation for a month. Wow, nice. Yep. Okay, notice this 64.5 here, this liquidity that came in. Okay, let's see. They pulled. Okay, but see how they're lowering the offer in here? Okay, did we see that in here? A little bit over here, a little bit, right? Did it transact? Yeah, it did here. Okay, they absorbed that. These sellers here, this area in here absorbed that buying. And then we rotate lower and we found more buyers again, slightly more. Okay, and this is really back and forth. Okay, this looks good now. There's exhaustion up here. There's our sellers. I would look for these sellers to break here. Okay, where do we want to go? We want to see the sellers now test down to here. Okay, 58. Right, that's where we see some liquidity, maybe 56. All right, so we want to see them pull away from this structure up here. It broke the structure, and we saw the transition starting to take place. Okay, guys, I would take my single here. Okay, just take a single and build confidence. Okay, you just made like you know, somewhere around well, let's say 61.5 down to 56.5. Right, so you just made 5 points in about 30 seconds or so. Right, but it took a long time to see that. Okay, we're waiting, we're looking for this condition to set up. Okay, and it came down to our level here. Now guys, I know that happened really fast, but this is, you got to be on the lookout for it. And Sergeant Taurus, you got to see that transition unfold in here. Okay, and then we're looking for the move. Okay, now there's a low volume pullback in here, and let's see if we can get continuation again. Okay, so now where do we want to go? Down to here. The next level is here at this 53. Where's the liquidity though? It's at 50. Okay, so we just blew through this level of 54, 53, 54, right? Because we're seeing the continuation move now. I'm looking for a higher time frame level to take my profit here. Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, now this is something I think you guys in the pilot program have done a really nice job with, and that is trailing your stops. I was surprised to see most of you guys trailing your stops, and I'm saying, like, yeah, take your profits, hit singles, and moves like this when you've caught the momentum here. First off, I would say take your profit, right? Hit your single, take your profit, build confidence, and then look for the next move in here. When you start hitting replay mode again and again and again, then you'll start to learn how to trail your stop. Okay, and then you can apply that, and you can look for these bigger levels to trade down to. All right. So, and how do you trail your stop? Let's go through it. Taurus, not Taurus, Sakin, entries and exits. All right. So, how are we going to do this here? Draw it up. Okay. I was looking back and forth in here. You just go back and watch the replay, I think. But I know we saw some exhaustion. We came down here. We had one cluster, came back up again. It was this here that I really liked. The exhaustion, the selling, more selling, looking for the break. And then hitting your single, taking some off down here. And then low volume pullback, continuation move. And we'll cover again. I know I'm going through it really quickly in here, but the way to, let's just go through it here. Mark it up. All right, so I might have to use. Let's do this. That'll stop it. Okay, and I'll use the pen tool. All right. So entry, stop would be up here. Okay, I mean you can put it tightly here as well, but here, let me mark it up a little bit better since I got the tools here. Okay, entry, you can consider a very tight stop in here, but the safer one would be up here, right? Somewhere like that. Okay, just like we were trailing it. Now, once it broke, you can start moving it down. Okay, so from once it broke here, move it down to here. Okay, now once this one back and forth, right? And then once this breaks here, you can move it down to here. All right, and continue to trail it down. You're looking for it to break structure, and I would have been taking some off at 50. All right. Anyway, all right, and for those of you looking for your back to Vinfra and your levels and your time frames, 50. Well, it's a figure. It kind of bounced around in here and then broke. It's traded back to 50. Okay, now I know it's not. We drew it up, but it's really because it's the 50 number here, and looking for a retest back up there. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I would look for a better retest would be probably up to here on this one here at 53, or this one here at 56.5 or so. They were where it broke down from again. You never said good morning. to Stephen. Okay. Anyway, trading is life. And trading is life is a great coach. Shark, DNT, Laura, Robert. Did I miss anybody in here? Mr. Smiles is on his way. And yeah, you guys are really, really getting good. Honing these strategies down is becoming easy for you. You can just hear it in your tone of voice when you guys are going through your trades. It's because you've done it so many times in replay mode. Okay, you have quantitative and qualitative data. So look at our next level, Vinfra. Okay, we broke out back up to 54, taking a pause here at 54. Okay, looking for our next level though up here though, because it's breaking out from that. Okay, but it took a pause here. Okay, it's not magic or anything like that. It's a structure. Okay, and we would anticipate there to be some sort of reaction there. Now it was mild, but it pulled back. Okay, now we're coming up to this level up here. Okay, and we have high liquidity there? Yep, right here, 55. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. We'll call it a day here. God, it's only Tuesday. It feels like Friday to me. Anyway, guys, I hope I answered your questions. Let's just a quick review of those questions to go back over over in the pilot program chat. Okay. Sergeant Torres, understanding the transition from buy side to sell side. And I think this was a pretty good example. All right. I mean, this was live too. Okay, we'll go through it again and again. I know it's complex, but it was here. All right. Second, we went over entries, exits, and trade management. And you know what, Second, continue to go through it in replay mode. This is where you'll hone your strategies. It's not one and done. It's like 1,000 and then some, and keep going, right? And you'll find a way that works with the way that you trade and your risk management, take ideas from others, collaborate. That's another huge part of the pilot program is collaboration. You got to post. That's why I keep on trying to get you guys to post in there. The new guys especially, you gotta just come in and say hi, and get it started. Kick it off. Start with one element and get good at it. All right, Brody, we'll have to. I don't know exactly what some of your navigations issues are and UI UX type things. Vinfra, we went over the high time frames and low time frames in detail, and then Tommy, about exiting or about trading live. I don't want to do it in these webinars. Like I said, you become a slave to the trade, but I don't have a problem with it. I do think though you have a good idea there, or we have a good idea with the replay files, and look for it in replay files and then do it again and again and again. Like this one here, we'll put this one in. We'll put this into the replay file for today. Okay, and we'll go through it. Okay, now I would trade this in replay mode probably at minimum 5 times, maybe more, until I really get it down. I can see, I can feel it, I know what I'm looking for, I confirm it again and again and again. Now that'll help me with this file for sure, but this is going to repeat and you're going to see it again and again, right? And when you do, you will know how to act. And second, You will know how to place your stop, where your entry is, where your exits are, okay, and how to trail. And then you'll just get really good at it. Now, you'll also get good. This is a really important factor in here. You'll get good at taking losses. That's a really important thing to learn. It's one of I think it's one of the most difficult things to learn. Okay? After you see this hundreds of times and you trade it in replay mode hundreds of times and you have quantitative data now in the web trading journal, the next time that you go and trade this, you know that there could be a loss. Like it's really a coin toss. Like you don't know what the outcome of a trade is. It's a funny piece of logic or probabilities. It's either going to be a winner or it's either going to be a loser. That's it, right? So it's really 50-50. But you've done this so many times that you know that it should work out in your advantage. That is your edge, because you have experience and you have quantitative data to back up that experience. Okay, and then when you take a loss, you just take a loss and you look for the next one. It's no big deal because you know you can get a winner. Anyway, guys, let's leave it at that. We'll see you on Wednesday, or I'm sorry, not Wednesday. We'll see you on Thursday for the Bookmap Academy meeting at market close, and then we'll see you on Friday. Okay? Yeah. And continue to ask questions, guys. It was a good conversation over in the pilot program. Newbies, come in, say hi, introduce yourself, get started. We got coaches in there to help you get started with the process, and I'll have more materials for you guys very shortly. All right, have a great rest of your day. We'll chat later. Bye-bye.